Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here. Today we have a 2v2 with my good friend Stubblefish here as he learns the game and we have some fun. Um, and here we are in the Mushroom Cave. He's Greenskins, I'm Crooked Moon, and we're facing off against the Dwarves and the Empire, who've come down in this cave to die. And definitely got to be careful of deploying here in the shallow water. It'll make these Dwarven units much less effective. Um, anyway, so we will go over army comps. My ally here has 4 Black Orcs. It's kind of like a main line. He's got 4 Doom Diver catapults here, and a Ragnarok Spider, and he's got Azag the Slaughterer on Skull Muncha. Very good to see. Love Azag. He'll be dropping some spells for us. And that is his kind of smaller elite army. But I have brought an entirely goblin force, and it will consist of here 3 rock lobbers, one of which is the Hammer of Gork. So we'll be laying a smackdown on the dwarves primarily with these guys. On this flank we have 2 nasty skulkers, 8 Pixelinis, and then we have a huge firing squad here of Night Goblin archers and Rusty Heirs. I have a Goblin Big Boss who will go and support them when need be. I didn't want him to alert the enemy of where my stocked units were. And so here he is on a wolf just to give him a little bit of mobility. Over here I do have the Warlord's Boys, 2 Nasty Skulkers, and another Goblin Big Boss to support them. Behind them I do have a Squig Herd. And back here I have Durkit Squigs and just a regular unit of Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. And then here in the middle I do have just a Night Goblin War Boss on his War Squig and a Night Goblin Shaman. And just sneaky stabbing and itchy nuisance. And so I'll be hoping to use that sneaky stabbing here on these Black Orcs because it no longer is a radius effect. Here you can see some artillery coming in. We'll start with the Empire player here, who's got some Empire Knights coming up here, who are going to get ambushed by these goblins. He's got a main line of gunpowder units, behind them a line of swordsmen, and then he's got 3 Hellblaster, Hellstorm rocket batteries, and of course, leading this very interesting battle is Balthazar Gelt on his Pegasus. So very fun. You can see my rock lobbers just wrecking these handgunners. I think some of those goblin Doom Divers are coming in as well. Just taking out a bunch of them. Over here, there is 2 miners, 2 Iron Breakers, one of which is the Nor Gremlings Iron Breakers, 2 hammers, 2 quarterers with great weapons. He does have Thorgrim Grudgebearer up here in the middle, making these Iron Breakers even more terrifying. I don't know if he has the Great Book of Grudges. I think that would be a grudge. Yep, no Great Book of Grudges. So definitely got to check your items with these guys. Could be making that line much scarier. And he does have a Runesmith in support. Again, just with none of the extra runes enabled. And then in the back, he does have a firing line of 2 cannons. So this will get underway pretty quick. First action being over here. And the Empire player is, I think, microing his main line, so he's not going to see initially as these volleys come off. You're going to see doing some nice damage, dropping a couple models. But more importantly, getting these nasty skulkers in without the charge. I would have dropped the smoke bomb, but it is on cooldown at the beginning of the fight, so can't quite do that yet. And you can see dropping a ton of volleys now in their unshielded back. So doing just great damage on these guys. And I think there's a walk order here, so they're not quite getting away from the goblins. So we are pulling them down into oblivion. Black Orcs are advancing over here. I do have some Morgrub's Mage Marauders, which I forgot to tell you about, who I'm going to try and trade with these Gyrocopters. Really need to get those guys turned over so they're firing fully. You can see here his Hellstorm rocket batteries are firing at our Doom Divers. Probably not the best choice. Here are some Black Orcs sandwich these Empire Knights, going to do a lot of damage, but they are going to start pulling through and start threatening our artillery, which is something I really didn't see them ever doing, but here they come. You can see, let's go watch this Black Orc get gatted. This Black Orc is going up alone, and he's going to We're going to see how these handgunners treat him. Just almost full health unit. Just walking into these guys is just going to get completely annihilated. Here, they're going to keep trying to charge. Oh, man. Poor guys. Handgunners are just so cost effective against these guys. You can see these ones over here taking a little bit of damage too. So they're going to be forced back. But we did get 2 of their Empire Knights over here. You can see they are running off. We brought our Squig Hoppers in and the Spider over to kind of crush these guys, while I'm kind of pushing up this stocked flank to just try and get nearby, because I'm not sure what this guy's going to do, and I'm pretty sure we have the artillery advantage here, so we're not in any rush. But these poor Black Orcs are going to be routed off the field, getting shot by cannons, getting terrified by a charge of swordsmen. Gyrocopter taking out some swordsmen there, which is helpful. You can see we're doing a ton of damage to this main line with our artillery, and his artillery is doing okay. It's taken out the Doom Diver, it's taken out 2 Doom Divers, but the rest of ours are still firing. Here, a little delayed Balthazar Gelt spell, and you can see I am pulling back my troops here. My squigs over here are going to be running away from these gyrocopters. I'm not sure what happened to these guys, but should be getting them engaged soon, as these poor Black Orcs get shot down. And you can see me establishing a very strong presence here on this flank to try and attack him, because I noticed his micro was not the best. These blocky formations are a decent guess at that. So if I do come in from this side, it's unlikely he'll be able to react fast enough to either, one, turn his line here, or to turn just some of his guys. Very unlikely. So I feel pretty confident having these troops over here, and there's no mobility on the field left, really, to run them down. What is going to come down here? What terrifying lure of metal. Does a decent amount of damage, but really should do more. Here come my Goblin Big Bosses. They're going to come in, make sure that this line can't fire, and as my nasty Skulkers come in the sides. So this is definitely not the best situation for him, and you can see the dwarf player is reacting pretty well, but we've managed to kind of clean up all these handgunners. They didn't run through their own troops. Yeah, you can see my nasty Skulkers in here. Not going to do poorly against the swordsman, but not really their prime target either. You can see I have changed my targets on my rock lobbers. They'll be firing into the dwarves as they approach. I'm hoping they'll blob up here. You can see I'm keeping a number of these units in reserve because I want them to just blob up here as my rock lobbers finish them off. You can see here my ranged troops getting around, finishing these guys off. Some squig hoppers coming around the flank, getting ready to hop into these artillery pieces. You can see my Morgrav's Ranging Marauders still chasing after these gyrocopters, and I am going to be bringing these squigs in to try and get these quarrelers. I really don't want them shooting into my poorly armored goblins. Here you can see Azag's going to munch on these guys with Durket's squigs. They're going to definitely rout off the field. And you can see the Empire player basically cleaned up now. He does have his Balthazar Gelt over here in my my Squig Hoppers, but he's not going to be able to get away from them. They're very fast, 84 speed, 80 speed, and they do have poison, so definitely not going to go too well. And you can see over here, all these troops balled up, and they're getting just torn apart. These poor Norgrimlings, Ironbreakers, getting shot to pieces from afar, and I'm just slowly feeding in one unit after the other. I'm not too concerned about time, but here we can watch these squigs just decimate these quarrelers on the charge. They did take some good damage, but now that they're in combat, they should be doing pretty well. You can see we are running out of ammo. We do have one Doom Diver left, which is good, and we still have this huge range contingent that has now turned to fire on him. Knight Apexalinis are finishing off these guys, and now we just need Azag and the rest of them to come in here and finish off the last of this Dwarven resistance. Especially with that spider, it's going to be very difficult. And you see these quarrelers charging in. Definitely a misclick from our opponent, and they are frightened, and they're going to pull out. Him realizing that this is not the best situation for them. But it's a little late now, as my Night Goblins swarm Thorgrim. Thorgrim was beating up the Night Goblin War Boss, so I did pull him out. But he should be healing up with his potion and getting back in here soon. And yeah, you can see there, Purple Son of Xarius coming down, just tearing these poor Gobbo, these poor dwarves apart. And there it's going to be a shatter as my Night Goblins come in for the final charge on these guys. So definitely a fun all-goblin army. I think a relatively decent one. It has a lot of tools in its tool belt. And a lot of the killing power here is actually in these rock lobbers, which you saw. Yeah, you can see here the Dirkit Squigs doing pretty well. My main line doing, some of them doing okay, some of them just getting torn apart by the superior infantry. You can see here, really, just the artillery did the killing. You can see here Azag getting a ton of kills, and two of these Black Orcs still very healthy, holding the line there. And the Ragnarok Spider, of course, very healthy. Didn't get into the combat till much later. And you can see Norgrimling's Ironbreakers with 14 kills. Definitely not what you want to see from a 1500 gold unit, and these 1600 gold units there really didn't have much on the field they would like to take out. Definitely a smaller elite army that you don't usually see in more competitive armies. Over here you can see these Empire Knights with 0 kills. These swordsmen here, just, you know, the real killing power was these Hellstorm rocket batteries, and all they did was really take out those Goblin Doom Divers. So definitely would have liked to see these guys targeting my Goblins. They would have torn them apart. So definitely have to use this very expensive artillery here to its best purpose, essentially. But yeah, this is my Goblin army. How would you build a all-Goblin army to take on the Empire and the Dwarves? Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and that's that.